sometimes if you take a short-term perspective, especially when things don't work out as you planned, when there's disappointments, difficulties, whatever, it's hard to see. It's hard to see how that fits in to God's plan. But then, as you step back and you look, new doors are open, new possibilities become available. But also, you may see, if it had been the way I thought, maybe things wouldn't have worked out.
We wanted to begin a mission in Vietnam. We sent one confrere there, Brian. He worked there discreetly for 4 years, and all our plans were on Brian. We were going to start a community based on what he had prepared and everything. We had a meeting, all was set. A few months later, Brian died. We said, wow, back to square one. But then, at the time of his funeral in Saigon, the people asked, the local church said, we would like the funeral to take place in the cathedral. We want people to remember this missionary. And during the funeral, the assistant bishop said, we want more missionaries like Father Brian. Please, the Spiritans, send more missionaries like Brian, who was working with the lepers and who had a very good contact with the people and who learned very well the language as well. And so we prepared that. About 1 year later, we were able to have a team of 3 on the ground. And 5 years later, we have 30 young men who, from Vietnam, say we want to be Spiritans, and they are in formation to be Spiritans. So it developed much, much faster than our initial plans, but it went through the giving of his life of one Spiritan. He did not decide it, it just took place like that. But it was the occasion that I believe that God told us, well, I am in charge. I'm going to look after that. Just do what you can, and you will see the fruits. And we see the fruit, and it's just amazing. So that's another sign of the presence of the Holy Spirit in the failures or the struggles or the sufferings that we go through. That at some stage we have just to say, well, I don't understand how this is going to work, but okay, let's continue.
I was quite convinced that going to Tanzania, where I had researched and found out they did not have a rehabilitation center. Well, I knew from my, experience as an OT that they must need rehabilitation. And it really was the Holy Spirit that helped shake me up and guide me to listen to the local people. And what I heard them saying is, well, actually, we don't really need rehabilitation right now. What we need is someone to help us with getting malaria medications shipped into the country. We need training for our healthcare workers. And so I really felt that the Holy Spirit was guiding me through that as well, recognizing that I had to let go of my agenda and be open to how God, through the power of the Holy Spirit, was leading me and guiding me.